Tonight, we journey back, far beyond the pages of any history book, to a time long before humans, before cities, before the world as we know it. Let your body sink into the comfort of your bed, your breathing slow and steady, as we prepare to drift through the mists of time. We're going to visit the Jurassic period, a world lush and green, humid and vibrant, filled with creatures unlike anything we see today. A place where the air is thick with life, where giants roam, and where nature paints in ancient hues of green, brown, and volcanic gray. Let your imagination awaken gently, and together we'll walk among giants. This is the Jurassic world. The Earth during the Jurassic period, spanning from about 201 to 145 million years ago, was a dramatically different world from the one we know today. When you close your eyes and breathe in deeply, imagine that you are inhaling the warm, oxygen-rich air of a planet alive with ancient energy. The sky above you is vast and uninterrupted, painted with streaks of lavender and gold, the sun casting a honeyed glow across endless forests and steaming wetlands. The continents are not where they are now. Instead, most of Earth's landmass is still locked in a single colossal supercontinent called Pangaea. But even now, it is beginning to break apart. Deep under the crust, tectonic forces press and heave. You can hear the quiet groan of the Earth shifting, the distant rumble of mountains being born, the sizzle of magma rising beneath new fissures. Where the land splits, seawater pours in. These new rift valleys fill with shallow seas, warm, salty, and teeming with strange early marine life. Coastal regions flourish with lush vegetation. Inland, vast plains are covered in thick groves of towering conifer trees, their needle-like leaves whispering in the humid breeze. It is always a little warm here. Even the poles are temperate, covered not with snow and ice but forests and ferns. Rain is frequent and nourishing. Thick clouds drift across the sky, dropping curtains of water onto the ancient soil. When it rains in the Jurassic, the sound is softer, heavier, yes, but more alive. The drops fall onto massive fronds, puddle in the tracks of enormous creatures, and collect in quiet pools fed by bubbling springs. Imagine the scent, rich, loamy earth mixed with the spicy resin of ancient pine. The ground beneath your feet is damp and warm. There is no scent of pollution, no hint of modern decay, only the clean, powerful essence of a world in balance. This world pulses with subtle energy. The days are shorter, lasting about 23 hours, but the sun rises and sets with gentle predictability. The length of a year is close to hours, but the passage of time feels different here, slower, more deliberate. The earth turns not with a rush, but with a sigh. As you walk slowly through this land, towering cliffs in the distance mark volcanic ridges. Occasionally, plumes of smoke curl skyward, reminders that the Earth's interior is not at rest. Rivers twist and meander through dense forests, their waters tinted amber from the minerals in the soil. They carry nutrients downstream to great deltas where waterfowl-like creatures gather to feed. And then there are the lakes, mirror-still bodies of water that reflect the canopy like polished stone. Beneath their surfaces live early amphibians and strange fish that glimmer like living fossils. Dragonflies with wings as long as your forearm skim the surface, their gossamer wings catching the light. Everywhere you look, life finds a way to thrive, not in chaotic bursts, but in slow, deliberate rhythms. Trees grow for centuries, rocks crumble over millennia. Creatures live out their lives to the steady beat of seasons that never freeze. It is a world without ice, without cities, without even grass. The ground is covered in ferns and mosses. The air hums with insects. And somewhere in the distance, you hear the low, mournful call of something vast, a creature you cannot see, but whose voice carries for miles. This is not just a land before time, it is a world before memory. And now, in your imagination, you are here, walking slowly, watching gently, breathing deeply. Let the humidity settle on your skin. Let the warm breeze tousle your hair. You are a traveler across epochs, carried softly by the current of deep time. Let it take you. The Jurassic world was one of green abundance. Though flowers had not yet graced the earth, no petals to open at dawn, no bees to flit between them, life flourished in a different palette. A deeper green, a more ancient gold, the kind of colors that come from time itself. Towering conifer trees dominated the landscape. Trees like araucarias, podocarps, and chirolepidiaceae stood tall, their trunks straight and proud, rising hundreds of feet toward a sky streaked with amber clouds. These sentinels of the forest swayed gently in the humid breeze, creaking softly like ancient wooden towers speaking in slow syllables. Below them, the understory flourished with cycads, tree ferns, and horsetails that reached astonishing sizes. Their leaves were wide and glossy, some shaped like the hands of giants, others curled tightly like fossilized scrolls. The air was thick with moisture, and droplets clung to every surface, refracting light into soft halos. Imagine walking through this prehistoric forest. The canopy filters the sun into long green shafts that dance across the ferns. The ground beneath your feet is springy and damp, covered in rich humus and fallen needles. The scent of sap and ancient soil fills your lungs. Each breath feels slower, deeper, anchored in time. As you move further in, you hear the whisper of fronds rubbing against one another in the breeze, a rustling like soft voices murmuring secrets from long ago. Insects buzz gently, not in nuisance but in rhythm with the pulse of the forest. Nearby, a stand of cycads forms a circle like a natural cathedral. Their sturdy trunks support bursts of spiky leaves that reach outward like sunbursts. These plants have existed for over 250 million years, and in this Jurassic moment, they are in their prime. A bubbling spring gurgles nearby, feeding a shallow pool. Amphibians like Gerothorax, with their wide, flat skulls and fixed, gaping mouths, float lazily near the surface. Reptiles with tiny claws and slender tails rest on warm rocks, soaking in the day's heat. In the branches above, early birds like Archaeopteryx flit from branch to branch, feathers still primitive and more reptilian than avian. They call softly, their cries a mix of chirp and hiss, echoing through the canopy. You stop beside a massive tree, its bark thick and flaking, its roots so vast they twist across the forest floor like petrified serpents. Place your hand on it. Feel the steady hum of life moving through it. This tree has stood for centuries and will stand for centuries more. Here, everything feels slower. Even time itself stretches out like moss on stone. Seasons come and go, not in the hurried burst of blossoms, but in the quiet shifting of shade, in the subtle curling of a fern, in the rise and fall of water levels in the riverbeds. You are surrounded by life, but not the chaotic bustle of modern cities. This is a slower, steadier life, one that thrives in rhythm, one that whispers, never shouts. Let your thoughts grow quiet, like the surface of a still lake. Let the forest wrap around you. You are safe here. You belong here. Let your breath match the rhythm of the wind through the conifers. In and out, in and out. Time becomes soft. Sleep finds you in the rustle of leaves and the warmth of ancient trees. Now we turn our attention to the gentle giants of the Jurassic. Towering, majestic, and slow-moving, these herbivores ruled the land not through force, but through size and serenity. They roamed in herds and lived in harmony with the forests they helped shape. Imagine it now, a clearing in the forest at dawn. Mist hangs low to the ground, curling around ferns and tree trunks like ghostly vines. The distant rumble of footsteps begins to vibrate through the earth. One by one, the trees sway, not from wind, but from the arrival of giants. The Diplodocus is the first to appear. Its silhouette stretches impossibly long, the neck gracefully arching like a slow river reaching for the canopy. Its tail, equally impressive, trails behind like a living whip. The Diplodocus moves gently through the forest. Next comes the Brachiosaurus, a cathedral of bone and muscle, as it grazes from ancient cycads and low-lying trees. With nostrils perched atop its head, it snorts softly, sending plumes of mist into the cool morning air. Next comes the Brachiosaurus, a cathedral of bone and muscle. Towering even higher than the Diplodocus, it walks upright with a dignity few creatures possess. Its front legs are longer than its hind legs, giving it a posture more giraffe-like than lizard. It reaches the treetops easily, plucking foliage others can't reach. The cracking of branches and the rustling of high leaves announce its breakfast. The ground trembles as a small herd of Camarasaurus emerges from the trees. They are stockier than the Diplodocus, their necks shorter, but their size still immense. Their boxy heads bob slowly as they graze on mid-level trees, their teeth stripping bark and leaves in thick bunches. A calf walks between two adults, protected and curious. It lets out a low bleat and nuzzles the side of its mother. Wandering along the forest's edge is the Stegosaurus, one of the most visually striking herbivores. Along its spine, enormous plates rise like sails, each tipped with dew. Its head is small, barely rising above the ferns, but its tail, a muscular, spiked weapon, swishes with authority. Despite its armor, the Stegosaurus is gentle, its small brain focused entirely on the search for plants. In the open plains beyond the forest, the Patagosaurus grazes in loose groups. Its massive body moves slowly, like a hill in motion. Here, with fewer trees, it lifts its neck skyward to scan for threats, though few would dare approach. Imagine the sounds, not chaos, but rhythm. The crunching of leaves, the swish of tails, the deep, chesty rumble of lowing calls shared between herd members. Their footsteps are not stomps, but soft tremors, heavy yet respectful. They sleep standing sometimes, heads drooping, tails resting. Other times, they lie down carefully in wide clearings, huddling close together in the warmth of the midday sun. As they sleep, the forest breathes around them. Tiny dinosaurs called Dryosaurus dart between their legs, feeding on what the giants ignore. Birds perch on their backs, picking off insects. The air is full of symbiosis, the quiet dance of cooperation. You watch from behind a tree, safe and unseen. The size of these creatures would be terrifying in another context, but not here, not now. In this dream, they are peaceful, reverent, and calm. Close your eyes again. Picture them in motion, slow and stately. They move like drifting glaciers across the land, silent, persistent, beautiful. They do not hurry, and neither should you. Let the presence of the gentle giants calm your breathing. Let their steady steps match your heartbeat. You are part of this world now, and it is kind. Sleep, surrounded by giants. As twilight deepens across the Jurassic landscape, a hush falls over the forest. The last rays of the sun filter through the canopy, casting long shadows across the jungle floor. The warm light fades into purples and blues, and with this change, the rhythm of life shifts. The diurnal giants begin to settle, their movements slow and content. But for others, the day is just beginning. The predators of the Jurassic emerge like ghosts from the underbrush, silent, observant, and precise. They do not charge wildly or roar without cause. These creatures are masters of patience, of timing. They are sculpted by nature, not merely for the kill, but for the art of surviving in a world of titans. The most formidable among them is the Allosaurus. With a skull nearly 3 feet long and jaws lined with dozens of serrated teeth, it is a predator of power and strategy. Picture one now, its body cloaked in shadows, its feet silent on the damp earth. At over 30 feet long, it moves like a giant panther, fluid and low. Its eyes, keen and calculating, scan the clearing ahead. The Allosaurus doesn't act out of fury. It waits. It chooses its moment. It might follow a herd for days, sensing the old or the weak. And when it does strike, it is swift, almost surgical. But this moment is calm. Tonight, it watches from the ridge, half lit by moonlight. It snorts softly and retreats again into the trees. Farther away, along a riverbank shrouded in reeds and mist, the Ceratosaurus stalks alone. Smaller than the Allosaurus, but no less dangerous, its unique nasal horn rises like a dagger between its eyes. Its hide is darker, almost camouflaged against the wet foliage. This predator favors ambush. The silence before the strike is its domain. Listen closely. Hear the rustle of cattails as it moves, the hush of disturbed water. A frog leaps, a fish ripples the surface. Then, all is still once more. It is a stillness so complete, it becomes a sound of its own, a warning written in silence. Above the trees, the skies are not empty. Rhamphorhynchus, a flying reptile with a diamond-shaped tail vein, glides effortlessly through the dusk. Nestled on cliffs nearby, small groups of Dimorphodon roost in crevices. Their short wings beat in erratic patterns as they search for insects and small prey. They move more like bats than birds, flitting through the shadows. And though small, they are part of the web of hunters, each with their role. But not all predators walk or fly. Beneath the surface of a coastal lagoon, hidden beneath swaying kelp forests, glides a titan of the sea. The Leopleurodon, a marine reptile, not a dinosaur, patrols its underwater realm with silent grace. 30 feet long, with flippers that carve through water like wings, it is the ruler of its realm. Its jaws, capable of biting through bone and shell, are rarely used in anger. It hunts only when it must. Tonight, it drifts, its pale belly reflecting the moon above. Fish scatter in its wake. Coral fans sway with its current. These predators do not scream. They do not terrorize. They exist in perfect equilibrium with the world around them. They take only what they need when the moment calls. And they disappear again into the dark, into legend. You are a guest in their world, and they acknowledge you quietly, not as prey, not as threat, but as witness. Breathe slowly now. Let the stillness of the forest floor return. Let the distant call of a pterosaur fade like a lullaby. There is balance here, even in the shadows, even in the hunt. Let that balance carry you deeper into rest. While the towering dinosaurs and apex predators rule the attention of history, there exists a world beneath them, one of delicate wings, silent burrows, and unseen marvels. These are the creatures history nearly forgot, and yet they are everywhere, tucked into bark, humming beneath the canopy, swimming in still waters or burrowing beneath ferns. Let us drift down to their scale now. Beneath the tangled underbrush, life continues in miniature. Insects, countless and varied, weave a constant dance through the foliage. Dragonflies as wide as dinner plates hover in place, their transparent wings vibrating with a soft, rhythmic hum. One lands gently on a curling fern frond, its compound eyes glittering in the dappled moonlight. Each twitch of its head is calculated, aware, ancient. Nearby, a giant millipede, a descendant of the earlier Carboniferous Arthropleura, crawls slowly over damp soil, its armor glistening in the soft light. It makes no sound, only a faint scraping like paper brushing paper. Its path is steady, unhurried, its segmented legs moving in a mesmerizing wave. Pause here. Listen. The forest floor is not silent. It whispers. The leaves rustle, not from the wind, but from the micro-mammals scurrying between roots and rock. They are small, shrew-like, warm-blooded, some with fur, some with gliders that stretch between their limbs like miniature parachutes. They are not dominant, but they are persistent, and in time, they will inherit the earth. These early mammals live quietly, feeding on insects, fruits, and seeds. One emerges now, a megazostrodon, no larger than your hand. It pauses at the base of a tree, twitching its nose toward a low-hanging pod. Then it climbs, skillfully and silently, vanishing into the branches. Above, early birds, true avians, distant relatives of theropods, flutter from branch to branch. Their feathers are not vibrant but earthy and camouflaged. They are hunters of insects, gatherers of berries, watchers of the world. They sleep in clusters, nestled within the crooks of ancient trees, their heads tucked under wings. In the nearby pond, amphibians croak softly. Not the frogs we know, but bulkier, more primitive cousins, some as large as a house cat. They float just beneath the surface, eyes breaking the waterline, throats pulsing. Their calls are low, soothing, like a heartbeat in water. Along the mud, a small Progonocalese, an ancient turtle, drags itself to the shore. Its heavy shell bears the moss of many seasons. It does not rush. It has never rushed. It simply continues. It outlives. It endures. Beneath the soil, beetles lay eggs. Grubs curl in tiny nests of decay and growth. Fungi bloom in the shadows, their delicate filaments feeding on what others discard. The ecosystem beneath the ecosystem is thriving, a universe unseen but essential. The moonlight reveals not giants here, but stories of survival and smallness, of ancient rhythms carried forward by those who go unnoticed. Think now of how quiet strength truly looks. It's in the flit of wings too fast to see, in the patient rootworm burrowing into bark, in the perfect arc of a firefly tracing its glow in the dark. Even in the age of monsters, it was the smallest who endured longest. Let their resilience rock you. Let their world of miniature movements soothe you. In this deep time where nothing is rushed, you too can slow down, can settle, can close your eyes and listen to the hum beneath history. Let us stay here a while longer, among the forgotten and the forever. Let us now witness a single life unfolding in this ancient world, not from afar, but up close, with softness and wonder. The life of a dinosaur, from its fragile beginnings in a buried egg to the twilight of its time beneath the ancient sun. No battles, no drama, just being, just breathing, the rhythm of existence in the age of giants. We begin underground, nestled in a clutch of leathery eggs, surrounded by loose sand and warm earth. A heartbeat stirs. The world outside is muffled and vast. The shell is curved and dark, but beyond it, vibration, the shuffling of siblings, the distant steps of a grazing mother, the warmth of the sun baked into the soil above. Then, a crack, a soft tapping, the faintest scratch of a tiny claw against the inside of the shell. It begins. One tap, then another. Hours pass. Then, with effort, a sliver of light enters the egg. The hatchling pushes harder and slowly emerges into the world. It is a young sauropod, perhaps a Camarasaurus, no larger than a rabbit. Its skin is soft, its movements uncertain. It blinks in the light, breathing its first breaths of warm, fern-scented air. Around it, its siblings are emerging, tiny limbs stretching, noses testing the breeze. Their mother looms nearby, enormous, gentle, her eyes watching. She does not coddle, but she guards. She nudges the earth with her snout, clearing space. Her long tail sweeps slowly behind her. These tiny creatures will grow into titans, but for now, they are vulnerable and quiet, content to nestle beneath her shadow. The days pass. The hatchling learns to walk. At first it wobbles, stepping on its own tail, tumbling into soft grass. But it learns quickly. Instinct guides it to stay with the herd, to move with the rhythm of others, to know the meaning of togetherness. The young dinosaur's world is close and sensory. The feel of damp earth underfoot, the brush of leaves against its flank, the low, vibrating sounds the adults make, communication not in words but in presence and sound, a language of body and resonance. Weeks become months. The hatchling grows, steadily, nourished by the vegetation that surrounds it. Each day it eats, and each night it sleeps beside its herd, wrapped in warmth and the subtle comfort of safety in numbers. It watches the older juveniles play, chasing insects, splashing in riverbeds, mock wrestling with their necks. These games are not just for fun. They are practice, the foundation of coordination and strength. The young sauropod joins in. As it matures, it learns the migration paths, long treks from valley to valley, following ancient instincts carved into the land. Storms pass overhead. The herd weathers them together, huddled beneath cliffs, rain washing over thick hides. In drought, they travel farther, seeking water guided by memory older than any single life. Adolescence comes slowly. The young sauropod is no longer tiny but still not towering. It begins to test independence, straying from the group to explore, only to return quickly when the shadows deepen or a strange sound stirs the trees. It learns to listen to the forest, to know the difference between wind and warning. It learns to sleep with one eye half open. It learns where the tastiest leaves grow and which plants to avoid. Knowledge passed, not in lectures, but in experience, in living. One day the young adult notices another beside it, a potential mate. There is no ceremony, only curiosity. Noses touch. They walk side by side. They move together through sun and shade, and for a time they are a pair. Seasons pass. The herd grows and changes. Elders die. Quietly, their bones left beneath the ferns. New calves are born. The cycle continues. And through it all, our sauropod endures. Its skin thickens. Its step slows. But it remains, always, a part of the greater whole. Now that we've walked beside giants, flown with the gliders of the sky, and followed the silent rhythms of forgotten lives, let us drift. Let go of time. Let go of names. Let go of what was once known. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already, and let the world of the Jurassic wrap around you like a gentle tide. You are no longer a visitor standing apart. You are part of this landscape. You are the breath in the fern, the shimmer on the river, the pulse beneath the forest floor. The night is calm and heavy with warmth. Mist curls through the jungle canopy, catching soft moonlight and scattering it across leaves like silver dust. A breeze moves lazily between the trunks of ancient trees, each one older than memory, older than myth. They stretch up into darkness, their crowns lost in velvet sky. Above you, a pterosaur glides, not in search of prey, not in fear, just floating. Wings unmoving, its silhouette drifting against a pale moon. You follow it in your mind, rising above the trees, above the valley, until the earth below glows with an ancient light. You see herds asleep in open clearings, long-necked shadows curled into each other like resting hills. You see small creatures nestled in burrows, their chests rising and falling like distant waves. You see the ocean, dark and infinite, kissing the edges of the continent with a rhythm so slow it becomes a lullaby. A comet streaks across the sky, unnoticed by those below. It's not the comet, just a fragment of stardust reminding you that time moves here, but gently. It does not rush. It does not demand. The world breathes around you. You drift now, passing over plains lit by fireflies, rivers carrying fallen leaves that look like tiny boats, and mountains so old they have forgotten what it means to be young. Each moment slows. Each thought softens. You are safe here. This world may be strange, but it welcomes you. It asks nothing of you but stillness. It invites you to become part of its dream. Let your breath fall into sync with this place. In, out, like the tide that once washed over the Leopleurodon's reef. In, out, like the wind that curled around a sleeping Allosaurus. You float now, not as a person, but as presence, a soft echo moving through time. And as the sky lightens toward dawn, as the sounds of night soften into silence, you feel the earth shift gently beneath you. The stars fade, the forest hums. The Jurassic, in all its ancient mystery, whispers its last goodnight. Let yourself fall, into sleep, into peace, into stillness. You are not alone here. You never were. The Jurassic night begins to fade. Soft bands of dawn stretch across the sky. First a deep blue, then violet, then a glowing gold that kisses the horizon. The stars retreat one by one, each blinking out like a lantern dimming in the distance. And with this slow return of light, the world exhales. Birds, descendants of ancient lines, begin their tentative songs. Not in chorus, not in urgency, but in scattered, solitary notes. A chirp here, a trill there. The forest stirs, but you don't. You remain in stillness, warm and cocooned in the echoes of this long, ancient night. You've walked beside giants, soared over primordial valleys, watched the smallest lives pulse in the shadows. You have breathed with the rhythm of a world that lived without rush, without noise, without need. Now, it lets you go. A Stegosaurus stretches in the distance, its silhouette backlit by the rising sun. The forest glows amber as light filters through towering trees. Somewhere nearby, a river continues its endless journey, winding past sleeping ferns and smooth stone. But you remain in peace, floating between then and now, between the distant world you visited and the quiet world around you now. Let that stillness linger. Let it carry through your body, the weight of your limbs, the quiet of your breath, the safety of where you are, and the safety of where you've been. You've walked with creatures who no longer walk the earth, and yet somehow they live again, in memory, in story, in you. If your eyes are still open, let them close. If your mind is still wandering, let it settle. There is no need to hold on. The journey has already happened. The world will still be here when you wake, and when you do, may you carry a fragment of the Jurassic with you, some feather, some footprint, some forgotten melody from a world long past. But for now, Let the earth turn. Let the forest hush. Let yourself sleep. Good night, traveler, and thank you for visiting.